Getting dressed, changing clothes, donning outfits. Excitement?
As far back as humanity's time on old Earth.
Naming the host planet Old Earth and never showing us New Earth. If there's no New Earth, why call the original planet Old Earth? Isn't it still just Earth?
I performed my duty. If my father gave you orders to watch me, then you'd better keep up.
Kids.
You were born to wear that uniform.
Natalia is flirting so hard with Desmond here, it's as if she knows the Emperor's former mistress is about to show up. Did Natalia read the script? Mark Strong looks super serious, but not very strong. Cliché.
Did no one inform you this was a private affair?
That's a good point. Another sin for the useless palace guards here at the heart of the Imperium. On what grounds would she be allowed in to see the Emperor? That they fornicated at least once? Because I don't think the Zap Brannigan maneuver exists in this universe.
Your orders are to guard my sister, not prevent me from seeing her.
To be fair, part of a guard's duty is to prevent people from seeing who they're guarding. That's like guarding 101.
He was proud.
And I was. Skip.
Heat is just energy.
Oversimplifications.
Whose eyes watch from the darkness?
Interrupting class with your drama instead of just barging into Tula's office on your own time. These girls are training to become super spies and you're disrupting their studies. Do you have any idea what tuition is at Bene Gesserit University?
Remember your duty or leave. Those are the options. The choice is yours.
But what about the choice to get with this or the choice to get with that? I really wanted to get with this because this is where it's at.
Is your sleep still uninterrupted?
Do you mean have I had the dream? No. I don't know why.
It may mean you're resistant to it.
Tula has zero clue why the sisters' dreams even started, but because Sister Jen hasn't had the dream yet, Tula assumes that means the sister's immune to the dream. And even though she's right, doesn't make this one crazy convenient guess any less crazy or convenient. People scares.
I have missed you so much!
I love the sentiment, but she's been gone for a day. Calm down. Most of us don't even remember who Lila is, nevertheless that she was supposed to be dead.
Now, I need you to stay here with her because you are her friend.
Immediately dumping nursing duties on a student who just found out their best friend didn't actually die.
How is the other side of the universe?
I don't know. For some reason, this Dune series seems allergic to showing us the one planet we all know and love to see. Where is Arrakis?
Come sit.
Offering someone a seat on a backless stool. Do you want your guests to have back pain? Because this is how your guests get back pain.
For a time, pirates were hijacking every other shipment of my whale fur.
Going into the first season of this series, I didn't have someone mentions whale fur on an episode of Dune Prophecy cliché on my cliché bingo card, but here we are. But also, they got the Mesolithic machines, whales with the fur. The show is slow.
They must have gone through the underground market.
They must have gone through the underground market.
To sell the spice, to raise the Solari, to buy the thinking machine.
So your grand revelation is that rebels sold spice on the black market? And how is that not something Desmond has already considered?
It's a start. But to clear your name, I'll need proof that your aunt is involved.
Dune Prophecy, which is set in the distant future, will now rely on one character wearing a wire to get a confession from another. What's the point of having a distant future if the technology and uses for said technology are basically the same as they are now?
We're looking for insurgents. You want to come?
Is that normally a task that the Royal Swordmaster would participate in? What's the point of having an elite unit of soldiers if you're going to need the Swordmaster to... Oh, you just wanted to fake us out and make us think Atreides had his cover blown. I see now. False tension is false. Thinking that doing the same thing Paul Atreides does in the movies will make me care about your character more. But it didn't. And I don't.
Come on. Horace would want you to be safe.
If you think Horace would want me to run, you obviously didn't know him that well.
If I could remember who the Horace was, then maybe this exchange would mean something more than 30 seconds of my life disappearing. This one shot does a better job of visualizing how badass Sisterhood can be than that one scene in Avengers Endgame did. But then the episode decides not to deliver on any kind of badassery that a shot like this promises.
I should have done more. It's not your fault.
Lila's right. You've had like 5 minutes of screen time in 5 episodes. There's not much more you could have done.
Where is Valia?
You're not Lila.
We're about to find out that Mother Raquella has overtaken Sister Lila's body, and there is zero reason for Raquella to keep Sister Jin in suspense about who she is. This feels 100% more of a twist for the audience than anything that makes sense from a character perspective. Also, 6-episode miniseries has time for a split personality subplot / ancestral possession ex machina. I couldn't decide which sin to go with, so I decided to hit Dune Prophecy with both.
Did she and Valia ever resolve their differences?
You can possess Lila, but you can't talk to Dorothea while you're both dead? The first thing Dorothea should have said to you in the afterlife was, Valia murdered me. I'm gonna need some rules for how this works. Vanity.
What are you up to?
What we're always up to, Harrow.
daring to name your character Haro as though this is a Gideon the Ninth miniseries instead of a Dune prequel.
I must go. Our ship departs in a few hours.
My parents' demands whenever they want to get to the airport 3 hours before their plane departs somehow makes its way into this episode. Adultery.
I didn't come here to drive a wedge between you and your wife, Vico.
Because that would create actual drama, and Dune Prophecy clearly only wants uninteresting surprise twists and people yelling about thinking machines in its series.
I said I was not to be disturbed unless it's an emergency.
Making the didn't want to be disturbed unless it's an emergency claim before opening the door and finding out whether or not it's an actual emergency.
What kind of abomination is this?
Where exactly is the line for abomination in this future? You were all set and fine with Lila communing with the dead. Is resurrecting the dead a line too far? What are the f***ing rules?
God created Arrakis to train the faithful.
Just that one planet exists to train the faithful? So how exactly were the faithful trained before leaving Earth? Was faith a new concept once Earth was abandoned? That'd be a storyline to follow that carries way more dramatic weight than anything that's happening in this series so far. If you keep staring at the bombs, don't you risk alerting the guard who is looking right at you? Aren't you a trained spy? Why didn't this guy's shield stop any of these blows? These things are so selectively effective.
Don't let me see you again.
So this guy's upset because his co-conspirator turned out to be a sister. But what does that really change in terms of the rebellion? If your goal's to overthrow the Emperor and she's helping you, what do you care about her personal affiliations? Especially when you were having second thoughts about the rebellion yourself.
I've had to learn about the great Carinos, Roderick, Jules, and the butlers before them.
Series once again expects me to have read any of its 30 books to recognize these names, and Series needs to understand how we feel about reading in these parts.
Sorry I don't have a glass for you.
Then offer her a drink from the bottle. That's your mother. She's immune to your cooties. Constantine doesn't know how cooties work.
The reason you were brought into this world is to protect your sister, the future leader of the Imperium.
Forcing a purpose on your child and not letting them do what they want to do with their life.
It's not my performance that I'm doubting, Mother Superior.
Careful how you finish that sentence.
That was a complete sentence. She was finished with the sentence before you cut her off. I believe what you meant to do was warn her about her follow-up sentence, Mother Superior. Also being surprised when the spy cult you've dedicated your life to suddenly makes questionable choices that negatively impact you.
This will get you to our safe house on Arrakis.
Can she take the rest of us with her? I'd really love to see some Arrakis in my Dune prequel. Leaving incriminating evidence unguarded in a sword cabinet used by multiple people. How is Atreides not already blown his cover? Giving Hunger Games Katniss bows in my Dune prequel.
In recognition of the man you've become.
That looks like they're toasting with orange juice. And I bet the Emperor didn't even warn everybody to not brush their teeth before they came to dinner. F***ing Emperor. Did the guards just let her walk into the prison? Earlier, they wouldn't let the princess out of sight. They wouldn't even let her brother in to see her. These palace guards do not know how to palace guard correctly. She's already trained as a f***ing truth-sayer? So let me get this straight. She can fight like a sister and use their magic lie-detecting powers. What's left for her to study on Wallach 9? How to have bad dreams?
Bloodline, Atreides. Bloodline, Harkonnen. Match identified.
Dune Prophecy has turned into a second-rate episode of Maury Povich, and the sin is for the fact that I'm not even sure I'm mad about it. This episode is 37% adultery, and only 9% as exciting and alluring as that sounds.
Or should I say, whale, whale, whale? Killer whale, that is.
Sister Francesca, what a surprise. Did no one inform you this was a private affair?
To f*** off and go back to Westworld. Remember your duty or leave. Those are the options. The choice is yours.
You're fired. Go.
You are audacious.
You don't know the meaning of the word!
Let's go shopping.
I'll give you some advice. Do not ever make the mistake of thinking you can become the man you are pretending to be.
That doesn't make sense.
I didn't come here to drive a wedge between you and your wife, Vico.
I'm horny!